The universe does not whisper its secrets, it roars them, yet how few of us pause to listen. To be truly awake is not to open your eyes to the morning sun, but to open your mind to the vastness of existence, to feel the weight of every choice, every moment, every breath. It is to stand at the edge of infinity and dare to ask, who am I? Why am I here? And what price must I pay to live with eyes unclouded? Imagine a single particle, a speck of stardust, dancing in the cosmic winds of a universe that stretches beyond comprehension. That particle is you. It is me. It is every soul that has ever gazed upward and felt the ache of wonder. But to be awake to this truth, to know that you are both infinitesimal and infinite, is to carry a burden as heavy as the stars themselves. The price of being awake is not paid in gold or years. It is paid in courage, in surrender, in the relentless pursuit of meaning over comfort. It is to stand before the vastness and choose to be more than a fleeting shadow, to be a flame that burns against the dark even when the winds of doubt howl around you. To be awake is to see time not as a river that carries you forward, but as a tapestry you weave with every thought, every act. Time, my friends, is not the ticking of a clock, but the beating of a heart. Each pulse is a choice, each choice a thread in the fabric of eternity. I once said that the distinction between past, present, and future is but a stubbornly persistent illusion. Yet, how stubbornly we cling to it. We live as if tomorrow is promised, as if yesterday can be undone. But to be awake is to stand in the eternal now, to know that this moment, this fleeting, fragile moment, is all you have to shape the universe. To live in this moment is to dance with infinity, to feel the weight of its possibilities pressing against your soul. It is to understand that every decision you make sends ripples across the cosmos, touching lives you may never know, shaping futures you may never see. To be awake is to hold this power gently, to wield it with reverence, knowing that even the smallest act, a kind word, a fleeting smile, can alter the course of a life, a community, a world. And what is the universe but a symphony of questions? As I have so often said, a question posed by the divine to itself. Science, that grand adventure of the mind, is not a collection of answers, but a chorus of inquiries. To be awake is to ask, why does light bend? Why do galaxies spiral? Why does a heart break? The scientist and the poet are not so different. Both chase the unseen, both seek to name the unnameable. But the price of this pursuit is steep. It demands that you abandon certainty, that you embrace doubt as a lover, not a foe. Doubt is not the enemy of truth, it is its midwife. Only through doubt do we birth understanding, and only through understanding do we glimpse the divine. Yet, doubt is a heavy companion. It asks you to walk through the darkness without a map, to trust that the light will come, not because it is promised, but because you seek it with all your being. To be awake is to carry this doubt like a lantern, to let it guide you through the shadows, to trust that even in the deepest night there is a star to follow. To be awake is to question not only the cosmos, but yourself. Who are you when the masks fall away? When the titles, the roles, the expectations dissolve, what remains? A spark, a flicker of consciousness that dares to love, to create, to defy the darkness. Love, you see, is not a fleeting emotion, but a force as fundamental as gravity. It binds us, not just to one another, but to the very fabric of existence. To love is to see the universe in a single soul, to feel the weight of their dreams as if they were your own. But love has its price. It asks you to be vulnerable, to risk pain, to offer your heart to a world that may not hold it gently. To love is to stand naked before the universe, knowing that you may be wounded, yet choosing to give anyway. It is to see the stranger as a mirror, the enemy as a teacher, the broken as a reflection of your own hidden cracks. To be awake is to love not only those who lift you up, but those who challenge you, those who wound you, those who remind you of the fragility we all share. And what of peace? Not the shallow peace of a quiet room, but the deep peace of a soul aligned with its purpose. To be awake is to seek this peace, not in isolation, but in communion with others, with the earth, with the stars. We are not separate from the universe. We are its expression. Every tree that sways in the wind, every child that laughs, every tear that falls, they are all notes in the same cosmic song. Yet, how often we drown out this melody with noise, with greed, with fear, with the illusion of separateness. The price of peace is to let go of these illusions, to see the stranger as a brother, the enemy as a mirror, the world as a home. It is to understand that every act of kindness, every moment of forgiveness is a note in that eternal song, a vibration that echoes across the ages. To be awake is to listen for this song, to add your voice to its chorus, to know that even in a world of discord, you can be a source of harmony. But to be awake is also to confront the shadow. The world is not a gentle place. It is a crucible, a forge where souls are tested. Injustice festers like a wound. Cruelty scars the earth. To be awake is to feel this pain, not as a distant echo, but as a fire in your bones. It is to know that your silence is complicity, that your inaction is a choice. The price of being awake is responsibility, not the responsibility of a bystander, but of a creator. You are not a passenger in this universe. You are a co-author of its story. Every choice you make, every word, every deed ripples across eternity. To be awake is to see the child who hungers, the forest that burns, the heart that breaks, and to know that you are called to act, not out of guilt, but out of love, not because you must, but because you can. It is to stand in the face of suffering and say, I will not turn away. I will not let this pain be in vain. I will be a light, however small, in this darkness. Consider the stars. They burn with a fury that defies comprehension, yet they do not cling to their light. They give it freely, knowing that to shine is their purpose, even if it means their end. To be awake is to burn like a star, not for glory, but for truth. It is to give yourself to the world, not because it deserves you, but because you are here, because you are alive, because in this fleeting moment you have the power to shape what is and what will be. But this giving is not without cost. It asks you to surrender your fears, your doubts, your need for control. It asks you to trust in the unknown, to leap into the void with nothing but the faith that you are enough. To be awake is to know that your light, however small, is enough to pierce the night, to guide another soul, to remind the world that hope is not a dream, but a choice. And what does it mean to shape the world? It is not to conquer, not to dominate, but to illuminate. To be awake is to see the interconnectedness of all things, the way a single act of kindness can ripple across generations, the way a single idea can shift the course of history. I once dreamed of a unified theory, a way to weave the laws of the cosmos into a single tapestry. But perhaps the true unification is not in equations, but in empathy, not in formulas, but in forgiveness. The world does not need more conquerors. It needs more dreamers, more builders, more souls who dare to see beyond the horizon. To be awake is to see the world not as it is, but as it could be, a place where every soul is seen, every voice is heard, every heart is held. It is to know that your actions, however small, are threads in this tapestry, stitches in the fabric of a better world. Yet the horizon is not always kind. To be awake is to see the suffering that hides in plain sight, the hunger in a child's eyes, the fear in a refugee's heart, the despair in a world that forgets its own beauty. It is to know that you cannot save everyone, but you must try. The price of being awake is this: you cannot turn away. You cannot unsee the truth. Once your eyes are open, they cannot close again. And so you must act, not out of duty, but out of love. Not because you must, but because you can. To be awake is to carry the weight of the world's pain, not as a burden, but as a call to create, to heal, to build. It is to know that every small act, every word of encouragement, every hand extended in kindness is a rebellion against despair, a spark that lights the darkness. It is to stand in the face of injustice and say, this is not the end. This is not the story we will tell. We will write a new one together. But action is not enough. To be awake is to understand that the greatest battles are fought within. The mind is a universe unto itself, vast and uncharted. It is easy to lose yourself in its depths, to be consumed by fear or doubt or anger. Yet, to be awake is to navigate this inner cosmos with grace. It is to choose curiosity over certainty, compassion over judgment, hope over despair. The price of this choice is effort, relentless, unyielding effort. To master yourself is to master the stars, for the same forces that shape the heavens shape your soul. Every thought you nurture, every fear you face, every dream you pursue is a star you set alight in the vastness of your being. To be awake is to tend this inner fire, to keep it burning even when the winds of doubt threaten to extinguish it, to know that your light is not just for you, but for all who wander in the dark. And what of the soul? Is it a spark of divine fire, a fleeting illusion, or something more? I am a scientist, not a mystic, yet I cannot deny the mystery that dwells within us. To be awake is to feel this mystery, to sense that you are more than flesh and bone, more than a collection of atoms. You are a story, a song, a question that the universe asks itself. And the price of being awake is to live as if this matters, as if your existence, your choices, your love, your pain are threads in a tapestry that spans eternity. To be awake is to see yourself not as a solitary note, but as part of a symphony, a melody that resonates with the stars, the earth, the hearts of those around you. It is to know that your voice, however small, is part of the cosmic chorus, that your life is a verse in the eternal poem. The universe is not a machine, it is a poem, and you, my friend, are its poet. To be awake is to write with every breath, to craft beauty from chaos, meaning from suffering. But poetry is not easy. It demands that you see the world as it is, broken, beautiful, fleeting, and still choose to love it. It demands that you face the void and fill it with light. The price of being awake is to be both the dreamer and the dream, the question and the answer, the wound and the healing. It is to stand in the face of uncertainty and say, I will create, I will love, I will be. To be awake is to weave your life into the fabric of the cosmos, to know that every choice you make is a brushstroke on the canvas of eternity, a note in the song of existence. But to be awake is also to know your limits. You are not infinite, not in body. Your time is finite. Your strength is frail. Your heart will break. Yet, within these limits lies your power. To be awake is to embrace your fragility, to know that every moment is precious because it is fleeting. It is to live not for eternity, but for now, for this breath, this choice, this chance to make a difference. The price of being awake is to let go of the illusion of permanence, to accept that you are a fleeting spark, and to shine with all your might while you are here. It is to know that your life, however brief, is a gift to the universe, a chance to leave a mark that endures beyond your years. And so we come to the heart of it. The price of being awake is freedom, not the freedom to do as you please, but the freedom to be who you are. To be awake is to cast off the chains of fear, of doubt, of apathy, and to step into the fullness of your existence. It is to know that you are both the smallest speck and the greatest force, a single note in the cosmos cosmic symphony and the composer of your own song. This freedom is not a gift, it is a choice. It is a choice to see, to feel, to act, to love, to create, even when the world tells you to stay asleep. To be awake is to choose the harder path, the path of meaning over comfort, of truth over illusion, of love over fear. But freedom comes with a shadow. To be awake is to feel the weight of this choice, to know that every step you take shapes not only your own destiny, but the destiny of those around you. It is to understand that your freedom is bound to the freedom of others, that your light shines brighter when it lifts others up. The price of being awake is to live for something greater than yourself, not for fame, not for wealth, but for the truth that binds us all. It is to know that your life is not your own, but a thread in the tapestry of humanity, a note in the song of the stars. And what is this truth? It is that we are one, not in some abstract sense, but in the deepest reality. The same forces that forged the stars forged your heart. The same energy that moves the galaxies moves your dreams. To be awake is to see this unity, to feel it in your bones, to live it in your actions. It is to know that every soul you meet is a reflection of the same cosmic fire, that every life is a story worth telling, worth hearing, worth holding. The price of being awake is to live as if this unity is real, to act as if every choice you make ripples across the cosmos, because it does. What does it mean to be truly awake? It is to live with eyes wide open, to see the beauty and the pain, the wonder and the wound, and to choose to act anyway. It is to know that you are part of something vast, something eternal, and to live as if your every choice matters, because it does. The universe is watching, not with judgment, but with hope. It waits to see what you will do, what you will create, what you will become. To be awake is to answer this call, to step into the light, to burn with the fire of a star that knows its time is brief, but its purpose is eternal. And so I ask you, not as a scientist, not as a philosopher, but as a fellow traveler in this vast, mysterious cosmos, will you pay the price? Will you dare to be truly awake? For in that awakening, you become more than a speck of stardust. You become a creator, a force, a flame that burns eternal. The price is steep, but the reward is nothing less than the universe itself, a universe you help to shape, to heal, to illuminate. So choose to wake, choose to burn, choose to be.